For thousands of years, the Greek gods slept, their temples fallen, their altars cold. But myths don't die. They only wait. So imagine, for a moment, what if the Greek gods woke up in 2025, in a world of satellites, skyscrapers, and global empires? What would the gods of Olympus do? The king of the gods returns, and the sky obeys him again. Air travel collapses, satellites blink out, governments face a power older than their nations. World leaders ask, is this diplomacy or domination? Zeus doesn't answer. He speaks in thunder. But the world soon learns something stranger. Storms gather around conversations involving power. When presidents lie, lightning flickers. When armies threaten, thunder rolls across clear skies. When humanity edges toward conflict, the clouds themselves seem to lean in, listening. People begin to ask, is Zeus judging us or warning us? In a world built on electricity, the god of lightning becomes the god of everything. When Poseidon awakens, the seas begin to move like living things. Shipping lanes collapse, nations panic, coasts tremble under unnatural tides. But Poseidon isn't angry, he's curious. The oceans are poisoned, warmed, reshaped, and the god of the sea does not recognize his own realm. Whales begin appearing in places they were never seen before. Tsunamis rise not to strike cities, but to erase oil rigs and poisoned harbors. Coastlines shift like living borders. For the first time in centuries, humanity sees just how small it is, beside a god who can reshape continents with a thought, and Poseidon is only just waking up. When gods return, they don't adapt to our world. Our world adapts to them. Hades does not make grand entrances. He rises quietly, a cold wind moving through cities, a shadow in the corner of your eye. Hospitals report impossible recoveries and impossible deaths. Scientists notice the dead no longer decay. Someone is watching. Hades has returned, not in rage, but in balance. Morgues report whispers inside locked rooms. Ancient burial grounds crack open without being disturbed. Animals sense him first. Dogs refuse to enter certain streets. Birds fall silent over entire neighborhoods. Hades does not demand worship. He demands remembrance. And in a world that hides from death, his presence reshapes society in ways no mortal authority can control. The modern world fears death more than any age before it, and Hades is the god of that fear. In 2025, war is fought by machines, but Ares does not understand distance. He understands blood, courage, fear, honor. He steps onto battlefields, and soldiers feel something ancient rising inside them. Militaries collapse, not from destruction, but devotion. Ares doesn't start wars. He awakens the ones already inside us. Generals experience visions on the battlefield, not of defeat, but of ancient glory. Weapons malfunction when wielded without courage. Soldiers who once fought from behind screens feel compelled to step onto real soil and face their enemies with human eyes. Ares doesn't increase violence. He strips away the illusions around it. He forces humanity to confront what it has been trying to bury. Humanity thought it moved beyond war, but Ares knew better. While nations watch the skies, Artemis moves through the forests. Nature reacts. Extinct species return. Cities find vines growing overnight. Predators walk ancient paths again. She sees Earth burning and does not seek revenge, only restoration. Satellite footage catches forests blooming overnight. Hunters report that their rifles jam whenever they raise them against pregnant animals. Cities built over ancient groves wake to find roots cracking through concrete. Artemis is not vengeful. She is protective. And humanity is reminded that the wilderness is not a resource, but a realm. Humanity built empires. Artemis brings the wilderness to their gates. Apollo returns with sunlight in his veins, and suddenly lies become impossible to hide. Corrupt leaders fall, secrets collapse. Everything done in darkness is dragged into the light. News anchors suddenly stutter, unable to speak words they do not believe. False prophets lose their voices entirely. Hospitals report miraculous recoveries whenever sunlight touches the floors. Even artists feel his influence, creating music, poetry, and visions they claim were whispered by someone standing just behind the light. The god of prophecy walks through a world drowning in misinformation and reveals truth, whether we are ready or not. Modern society fears nothing more than truth without mercy. If Aphrodite awakens in 2025, social media shatters. Obsession, jealousy, desire, insecurity, all amplified. She doesn't cause chaos intentionally. Mortals simply don't know what to do when confronted with divine beauty. Couples reunite, only to break apart hours later when jealousy overwhelms them. Influencers rise overnight, only to collapse under the weight of their own followers' obsession. Aphrodite doesn't manipulate love. She reveals it, the raw, chaotic, uncontrollable part that humans have tried to brand, edit, and commodify. And the world cannot look away. In an age addicted to attention, the goddess of desire becomes the world's most dangerous force. While Zeus shakes the sky and Ares rules the battlefield, Athena studies. Nations offer her power. Corporations beg for her guidance. Universities try to contain her knowledge. Athena sees what others miss: the brittle foundations of modern society. Cybersecurity agencies discover that their most complex problems are being solved by an unknown user with an owl-shaped avatar. Conflicts across the world pause as military leaders wait for Athena's guidance. She walks through think tanks and war rooms silently, studying humanity's tangled networks and fragile systems. And with every plan she makes, the world shifts closer to a future no mortal mind could predict. And she begins planning. When wisdom becomes a weapon, no army can match it. Hephaestus wakes, and the world's technology bends toward him like metal to a magnet. Factories stutter, engines scream. 3D printers malfunction as new alloys form that no scientist can identify. He walks through industrial districts, touching broken machines and awakening them like sleeping beasts. Weapons reshape themselves. Drones melt into slag. Satellites gain new metal skins and begin transmitting signals no one can decode. Hephaestus doesn't conquer, he creates, and in 2025, creation itself is power. In an age built from metal and fire, the god of the forge becomes unstoppable. When Hermes returns, movement returns with him. Borders blur. Communication accelerates. Secrets slip through the world like smoke. Every message, every transaction, every shipment feels his influence. He appears in airports, walking calmly past security as systems shut down behind him. In stock markets, he watches as numbers spin wildly, a trickster's smile on his face. Hermes doesn't rule nations. He rules connection. And in 2025, connection is everything. The god of roads finds new highways in fiber optics and flight paths. and he runs faster than the world can follow. Hera awakens not in temples, but in homes, in marriages, in the fragile bonds that hold society together. Where she walks, alliances shift, old grudges reignite. Buried truths surface between people who thought they understood one another. Governments sense her presence as diplomatic ties tighten or collapse overnight. Hera is not wrathful without reason. She restores loyalty, oaths, and the sacred weight of promises. But she punishes betrayal. And in 2025, the world is full of broken vows. Hera is not chaos, she is consequence. Dionysus does not arrive quietly. He arrives like a wildfire, like a fever dream, like a song you can't get out of your head. Where he walks, the boundaries between illusion and truth begin to blur. Crowds gather without knowing why. Laughter erupts in places filled with grief. Old wounds reopen. Buried desires rise like smoke. Dionysus is the god of ecstasy, but also the god of madness, and in 2025, a world drowning in anxiety, digital overstimulation, and desperate escapism is fertile ground for him. Parties spiral into rituals. Cities pulse with strange, dreamlike energy. People feel emotions they cannot name and fears they cannot escape. Dionysus does not rule by force, he rules by surrender. By dissolving the walls people build around their hearts and their minds. He does not conquer nations, he conquers the human psyche. Structures of order shake, logic falters. And for a moment, the world feels alive in a way it hasn't for thousands of years. Because Dionysus didn't return to destroy civilization, but to remind it that it's always one heartbeat away from chaos. Hestia returns last, as she always does, not with thunder or storms or armies, but with warmth, a light in the dark. In cities overwhelmed by divine upheaval, small homes begin to glow, families gather, communities strengthen, fear lessens. She is the goddess of the hearth, of stability, family, and the quiet moments that keep civilization alive. In a world tearing itself apart under the weight of gods, Hestia becomes the balance, the calm, the reminder. Where every god brings power, Hestia brings purpose. If the Greek gods woke in 2025, the world would not end. It would remember. Remember its myths, its fears, its dreams, its ancient flaws and ancient strengths. Technology would tremble. Empires would shift. Humanity would rediscover how small it truly is. The gods would not destroy the world. They would restore the world we once believed in. You've heard the story. Now, join the myth.